everybody, and welcome to an Onward VRML Week 11 cast. Today we have the 5 Horsemen versus Animal House, and we're going to hop right into pick bands. Coming in from the 5 Horsemen, we do have a Snow Peak ban. And coming in from Animal House, we have Nothing. Map number 1 going to be Suburbia. Not a lot of time to hop into those pick bands. Again, both teams are in lobby ready to go. Very late scheduled match, so here we are, just barely squeaking in some coverage. Can give you the current rosters for both sides. Over on Animal House, we have Green Theft Auto, Will-O-Wisp, Nolamite, F. Lipinski, and Steven. On the 5 Horsemen, we have Dr. Sean, Steve, Braden, Reefer Madness, and Enigma. Pretty standard roster lineup there. I do believe Reefer Madness edition. Let's take a look. It's probably just a name change. Oh no, it is. 5 Horsemen added him. When was he tacked onto their roster? Looks like he played last Saturday. No, that's his connoisseur history. He hasn't played any, so this is his first season. Interesting. So we'll see how he does today for the 5 Horsemen. I know been working on that 5th slot, but they do look good, and I got to give the go-ahead now to the squads. We are ready to hop into some Suburbia goodness. Here. Well, we'll see as we hop into round number 1. Map 1.
Have fun, guys. You're gonna
Hear the commotion.
Wait, why the fuck am I so short?
Why are you short?
Me, bro. I gotta change my height after this.
I can see your little head.
Shut your bitch ass up.
You got a little small ass head. You know this.
Very loose Animal House going into this game. Nolamite with a pretty forward position. I'm sure Enigma heard the movement. His way forward. Take a look at the overhead. Kind of an interesting spread. They're not exactly stacking everyone forward up on that line, although it now does look like Steven and his back defenders have decided that the flank isn't coming and have pushed up. Lipinski joining Willow here at the hedges. Nolamite prone for some angles into objective building, and now Green Theft making his presence known by APC, but instantly dropping back, and you can see eyes drawn in there. Nobody's there anymore. This is a push coming in from Animal House. Plenty of smokes out. Free Fire coming in. Enigma able to find Nolamite in that smoke. That should be information for Willow to work with as he charges forward. Enigma tries to move out. A nice catch through the shrubs. Push keeps coming in. Dr. Sean finds Green Theft by APC. We still have Traden here looking for the shots onto Willow. Steve also the potential angle once that smoke dissipates. Meanwhile, Steven's pushing in. Dr. Sean saving the round quite literally as the last one alive inside main building. Steven does get comms in. Here comes the push from F. Lipinski and Will-O-Wisp. Willow able to snag that kill. They now have control of the center 2 story. That's going to make it pretty tough for Traden to properly defend, although he is taking shots effectively over. Question is, does he know there's one upstairs and downstairs, and is he ready to react?
Steve, I'm going to assume you can cover the backside. I got this front, south side.
A quiet 2v2, 3 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time available for Animal House. Keep an eye on Steven and Trayton's positions for now. Oh, shots and a trade on the downstairs. Now it's time for Willow to consider making his move. He's going to be ready for Steven with the angle, though. It looks like he actually might drop back and rotate around the proper way, or he might just get closer to Steven's barrel. Steven with some good shots on Willow as he tries to cross up towards Tank, and 5 Horsemen secure themselves a map 1 W, or a round 1 W. Gotta put some antiperspirant on right now because we're sweating over this action. Also, hope you don't mind if we just embrace the silence between rounds. Not trying to do... We have a lot of games this weekend. I'll say that. We have a lot of games this weekend. I want to be sure that we can effectively cover all of them. Well, a good chunk of them at the very least, which is going to be happening, so make sure to tune in here Saturday and Sunday. Also, head on over to Master League 1 later tonight. We'll be hosting the channel after this match, but should be an exciting matchup there. You have Rome and G-Men. TFH and Xandria will be on that one. That should be an exciting matchup to spectate. Round number 2 begins now. 5 Horsemen on the offense. How Animal House set up their defense. Looks like there's this pretty heavy stack over here on the west.
I'm watching 3 and 4. I have a small section of 3.
And see where they're prioritizing their defensive setup. And look at how quick the 5 Horsemen are pushing in here. Steven might get caught off guard. He's fortunate, Steve there, and Enigma didn't find the shots, but he tucks back in behind the door, and he's safe for now. Really good retreat there from Steven. He wasn't sure if that was going to be a smoke or a frag, and so he instantly drops back, and I think he's prepping a molly in the meantime. Because up and over it goes to deny crossing angle as he tucks into the fence there. Love the body kinematics of Onward. Lipinski finds Reaper over around the burning building. Enigma utilizing the smoke for cover, trying to squeeze his way up and find Steven, but he can't spot anything out quite yet. Like Steve was about ready to peek, though. Tossing out a flash. There's going to be a lot of Steven calls today. I got a good feeling about it. Mission for Steven to work off of. He is actually going to rotate around. I think Enigma is wary of that. We're into a bit of a cat and mouse game here.
Center house, back house.
Nice moves with Enigma off of that comm. Here's Steve with the callouts, and you got to wonder if that information was crucial enough to pass on. Nolamite and Dr. Sean trading over on the west, and we're down to 2 inside the center 2 story. Trying to find that refrag onto Green Theft. Can't seem to spot it out. Green Theft is going to look for the peak. Doesn't see Enigma close on the other side of the hedges. Should hear that reload, and I don't think he knows where it is. He's looking up and over there. He spots him out, takes the shots, and now it's all down to Steven, who's going to get pressured by 3. Steven trying to deny them from killing him, and he can't quite deal with 2. Puts plenty of shots into the chest of Green Theft, and maybe the body armor saving his life as Animal House grab their defensive round and tie things up 1-1. Pause. Set one of the 5 horsies and should be into round 3 shortly. We now shift our focus to the 5 Horsemen at the start of their rounds as they go on the defensive on the back objective spawn building. Should be, in my opinion, one of the easier ones to defend, although others argue it's actually rather challenging considering the defensive angles you have to hold. A slow play here from Animal House, sort of taking their time on this push. I think we saw a similar style offense here from Animal House. Kind of shows the practice of having the 2 sit in the back, watch for the flank, then they push up into the center, and now is the time for the entirety of Animal House to push forward. Nolamite's going to take center 2 story, going to kick off their push, and I think they're expecting maybe a little bit more forward defense as smokes start to come in. On board Steven as he's considering entering, and you can see the concern of different positions. A little pre-fire too as he comes up just to ensure that he gets those kills if anybody is camping there.
So far, center house is clear. I don't know about the room. Clear it. Center house is clear.
They've secured center house. Green Theft has a decent angle down into Dr. Sean and Traden, but you can see that where they're defending from, they actually can't be shot. Green Theft's position or anywhere in these windows. Maybe Steven could find an angle onto Sean, but Horsemen are tucked in around objective lawn, and they're going to force the push from Animal House An interesting defensive strategy that could backfire if proper nades are placed into certain defensive positions, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Free fire there from Steven through the wood just to ensure that nobody's there, and I think that's what's happening here across the board. Good deal of pre-fire through wood just to make sure defensive positions aren't being held. Look at Steve. Steve is just barely defending. Willow's not going to be ready for it. The barrel nearly inside Willow's back as Steven finds the kill. That should be information for Lipinski to work with. It is radioed into the rest of the squad, so they are aware that crossing here is going to be the death. Unless they kill Steve. You have to watch the backside of Steven here. The flank from Lipinski is going to be coming in, and you can see he has coverage on his backside. So for him to fully peek out here and commit to finding Steven, he's going to have to lose the angle from one of his teammates, and it does look like Lipinski has a line of sight onto Steve. There's the shots. Down he goes. Lipinski patiently waiting as the rest of his team pushes forward. Green Theft now at tank. Enigma about to challenge. I think Green Theft hears that audio, and now they're in a bit of an awkward spot with 2 minutes. One out. Lots of shots coming in onto Lipinski from the first and second story. Meanwhile, the rest of the team trying to push forward. Nolamite pushing in, finds one. Just going to be a down. Dr. Sean could rotate around and pick him up. I think he's going to do that when he drops this angle, though. Nolamite's charging in. He's going to get inside. Looks for the kills. Sean able to find one. Steven picks up one on objective. Objective's exposed. Pads out. He's punching in code. Sean has to react. Can he get there in time? Steven with his trademark celebration at the end of the round as he secures Animal House 2 points. And in the chaos during the reses under the gunfire, the push was missed. And you could see the reaction was there. Sean was trying to get to objective in time, but couldn't sprint fast enough, and Animal House pushed the lead 3-1. Round number 4 underway as the cap was secured by the 5 Horsemen. Now when they go on the offense, excuse me, by Animal House, now Horsemen are on the offense and have to try and bounce back. Have to secure themselves a Marsoc round, which is not easy to do on Suburbia. 5 stacked here. Charging in. To see if they quick played this. Steven botching it. Here's footsteps. Gets a little panic. Tosses out the Molotov onto the corner. And now he's in a bit of an awkward position because 5 Horsemen have pushed up past his initial estimates of where he was putting shots. A nice rotation is going to find him a great angle underneath APC. Field should prevent the kill. Wow, and a great smoke denies Steven vision. He's going to have to rotate out here. Steven actually pushes off the flash, and if Enigma hadn't rotated around, he might have had the shield. Green Theft's going to move off of those shots. I think Enigma hears those footsteps. Down he goes. That's 2 for Enigma there, and a nice little double he's secured. Steve pretty close to objective as Nolamite comes charging in. They're not too afraid to lose this round to death as they're sort of flinging themselves at this 5 Horsemen. In the meantime, Willow has found one on the backside. Wonder if Reaper is going to spot out Nolamite through the hedges here, or if he'll be ready for Willow on the side. Savior of a round that I would say was going heavily into the 5 Horsemen's favor. Willow has stunted the push out of 5 Horsemen. Great reaction from Steve to deny those shots from landing. Nades and every utility possible getting thrown at this shield. Nice denial of the flank from Enigma. Evens it out into a 2v2. Willow's got to be a little bit concerned about his positioning now, since he is so far from objective. Well, he's going to go for a very long rotation. Watch it on the overhead. Now's the time for this 5 Horsemen team to move, but they feel so trapped. This flank's coming in hot right now. He is going to catch the shield onto the side. That's going to be information for Enigma, and he picks up Willow, getting a little overzealous on the corner. 3 minutes left, and we're into a 1v1. Is Enigma going to be ready? Oh, it perfectly adjusting the smoke here, and begins to move with it right as the line of sight was coming in on him. Wonder if he'll be able to avoid this for much longer. The smoke's going to dissipate. Does he go prone? Does he stay low enough beneath the hedges? I don't think Lipinski spotted him. Finally, Enigma has some comps. Lipinski does spot him, peek up and over, and now we're into an awkward 1v1 trade. Lipinski goes for the blind fire, but Enigma goes for the rotation, saves the round.
I can't believe I did it.
I think that was 4 kills. Was that actually the squad wipe for Enigma? That might have been the squad wipe. I know he had 4. Nice job of keeping the Horsemen in it, but Animal House now still with their 3-2 lead, getting aggressive on that defense because they could afford to, and it almost pays off. Willow had been ready for the double over there on the APC corner. He might have been able to secure himself with a fantastic round 4 map win, but things stay close. Take a look at the KDs. Enigma and Willow certainly standouts. Dr. Sean Lipinski supporting. A little reminder, those just tuning in, please remember to give this channel a follow and Onward Master League without it too. I'm sure you guys have already. Know who I'm talking to. But G-Men in Rome is going to be over there at 6 p.m. So in roughly an hour and a half, G-Men in Rome will be live on the main Onward Master League channel. Recommend you tune into that matchup. G-Men are heavily favored, but Rome have been playing quite exceptionally. I would say exceptionally well. There we go. So quite well, exceptionally well. They've put up good score lines against the likes of Boss Fight Ember, Silent Purge, teams that are definitely showing their teeth this season. Showing the teeth. We'll see if the 5 Horsemen nip away at Animal House as we hop into round number 5, I believe. An interesting fake out, it looks like, from Animal House. They've dumped smokes up onto that side, put plenty of suppressive fire, and focused their early rotations here. Nolamite should be spotted. Steve over there was dumping rounds through the smoke with his LMG just to make sure no push was coming. Steve looking for the shots onto Steve, but couldn't find the kill onto Steve, so Steve wasn't able to kill Steve. Here comes Green Theft and Willow. Enigma able to find the kill. 2 eyes trained on him now. On this, head over to the Steve's pairing. And it's actually able to find the Willow. Steven may react accordingly. Oh, a nice nade toss from Enigma. Forces the push from Nolamite. Doesn't see Enigma. Enigma doesn't spot him until he's dead from shots from Reaper, saving his life. Brings it into a 2v5. Animal House not looking good on this offensive round. Big pickup for Steven, opening up lane 4 for himself here. Granted, he still has to cross. Eyes are still dialed in there from the likes of Steven and Reaper Madness. Pinsky is the one that's looking for those refrags. He's trying to deny Steven Reaper the ability of suppressing, so a bit of a 2-man operation going on here. Drop back for a north rotation. We'll tune in a bit when he decides to try and make that happen. Well, it actually looks like he's not going to go north. He is rotating back over here with Steve. I wonder why they've opted to try and cross the street. They've drawn so much attention to it that if they pushed objective, I feel like it would be their best bet. I do think we had a DC on the Horseman side too, so we're into a 3v2. 2v3. This fence is just to obstruct a little bit of vision. Unnoticed so far. He's going to have to get past trade, which isn't going to be easy. Willow snagging one on the cross. Steven's life pretty tough. Oh, there wasn't a DC. I just couldn't see Reaper and Steven stacked up together.
Alright, we got a minute 27. He's definitely not lane 3.
Call out from Dr. Sean considering where Steven is. Much right at lane 3. Down goes Sean. That's news for Reaper as he pushes the red car and finds the kill. Horsemen in a very nice round 5. Tie things up. 3. Here's a fun fact for all you haters against me as a player. I scrimmed with the 5 Horsemen against G-Men. Sorry, Globochem. And I went 3-3 in one of our maps. So let it be known that I still got it. Thank you. Now up to Animal House to defend their lead as things have been tied up 3-3. They go into their Volk round. Ideally being a little bit better prepared. Or ready for a 5 Horsemen organized push, but best defense in the world arguably struggles to go up against the best offense, so see how this shakes up as Green gets into a pretty advanced position early on here, looking for any sort of rotation down lane 1, and he should be aware that Steve's here from comms coming in on from the backside by Lipinski. Our eyes here as we switch over to watching Willow push up a touch, looking for angles on Sean and Traden. Theft in the meantime decides to go for a push, ill-advised as Reaper scoops him up. 3 eyes trained in on him there. Now the perspective shifts as Horsemen are looking to apply pressure up in the north. A nice nade onto Steve! Expertly tossed. Great confirm from Lipinski. That's a huge pickup. From Willow onto Sean and Traden. Another nade coming out and over. Is it going to be good enough? Does find Sean. Traden should know where he's at. Willow's looking for the confirm. He's going to have a tough time finding it. Time Enigma's picked up the shield, rotating on the north. Up gets the res. That's a nice 1-2 switch for 5 Horsemen. They now have the advantage 4-3. Interesting. After scrimming with the Horsemen, I'm curious. I want to scrim with more teams because I'm curious what comms sound like. The Horsemen comms are very active as Steve's able to find Reaper. Not before Reaper scooped up one more defender, though, turning it into a 2v3. Utility's still available for 5 Horsemen. That might force the rotation from Steve if there's enough smokes there. Still has an angle, but if he doesn't catch them right out of this angle, he's got a lot of his vision denied. Another smoke coming in here that might actually try and deny his vision, at the very least draws attention. Still no rotation. They do have one on objective. It does look like Lipinski is tucked in right on top. I could run into more trees today while I run the cams.
Shield.
Oh, and Enigma goes for the shots. The shield doesn't stand like he hopes, and he gets scooped up. Now eyes are on to Lipinski. He gets tagged once, goes for the shots on to Trade, and those don't land.
Lane 3.
Doc can't find an angle. We're into a 2v2, 3 minutes left. Everything coming down to this for map 1. Steven with the double gets Animal House the map. What was looking like a very good comeback from Horsemen gets shut down in a flash. Animal House grab map 1. Map 2 is going to be Thar. That will be Animal House's choice. Best case for them right now is they have secured 5 Horsemen's map pick on map 1, so now you go into a little bit of an advantage here with the lead. It's the best case. Map number 2 is underway. Animal House versus the 5 Horsemen. I suppose the 5 Horsemen versus Animal House as we go into Animal House's map pick for map number 2.
Did they actually make it against the rules? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, it's against the rules because we lost like 4 points.
Whoa! Trade in with a spot I've never seen taken. Goes up onto the fence, snags himself one with an interesting angle that goes relatively undetected until he rotates off. Now they do know that spawn. They are aware and act accordingly, but it doesn't look like Animal House are going to really let up here. Nades coming in. That nearly snags Reefer. Thankful for the car being there. Eye on this lane and take a gander at what Animal House are cooking up in the center of Bazaar.
Nice one.
Enigma able to snag. Pretty aggressive push. They were charging right in on him. Lipinski gets a revive on the backside. That one early pick from Trade and does get picked up, resurrected.
You guys should quit talking to each other. Because I can tell how many of you are over there and keep talking to each other. You should use hand signals.
If you want, you can put in the code and give us the free point if you like. We won't.
No, we got punished for that. We're not allowed to do that anymore. I think there's maybe 2. I think one's crossing with a smoke right now.
The beauty of open comms is that you can trash talk actively your teammate if you so desire. No, honestly, it might be enough to throw off the aim. Willow snags one. That goes Reefer down on the north. Traden still has eyes. Drops off. That does open up the north entrance. Enigma with a big double keeps things even. Animal House were looking to tip the tides for a second there. And Traden got scooped, but he couldn't. Steven can't find Enigma either, and that's 4 pickups for Enigma.
Last guy's in purple.
That's a pretty big confirm. If he didn't do that, Traden would have radioed in that Willow's here. They still may now be under the impression that there's just one where Lipinski is. Sean still is covering the backside, but Enigma might get overconfident here with Lipinski.
Dark Fulgrim.
Here's somebody talking in here.
No, you don't.
Yeah, dude, I hear you. I heard everything he said.
No, what'd you hear?
You said something about blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, Volcano. The what? The blah, 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 blah?
You said blah, 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 blah.
I think I'm kidding, but that's bait right now. Sean's trying to bait out Lipinski so Enigma can snag him while he rotates here.
That sound like me.
That sounds like exactly something.
There it is. Enigma scoops him up. Sean distracted him plenty, but Sean's been a bit distracted as Willow's made his move. So now here gets picked up by Steven with a quick couple of shots, and the 5 Horsemen. Chatty Cathy's secure round 1. Cut you do an intermission as we are in an official timeout from the 5 Horsemen, but we'll be back with map 2 action shortly. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting for that brief intermission. I did get some information. It looks like Reefer Madness is currently playing from a hotel. I think he had to move rooms, from what I understand, and so he quickly sprinted over to his appropriate room and is now back into the action with the Five Horsemen, and that's put a bit of a damper onto a very good start to this map, if I had to say so myself. But it might work out for themselves, considering Animal House won a very close 3-3 in map 1. Kind of cool everyone's emotions and get a bit of a reset as we dive into round number 2 of map 2. We are just tuning in. Map 1 went down to a 3-3 score. Animal House came across with a dub on defense. We're into Animal House's map pick with Five Horsemen leading the way with a Volk win.
Talk to me, baby. What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Reaper's guarding the blue. Hey, blue tell me, Reaper. I can't hear, Reaper. Your mic might be dead,
Alright, you gotta clear out chaos. You don't fucking in the ass. Just do it real quiet.
You've been popping so good, buddy.
I think I'm a light-skinned person. I mean, a light-weighted person. Okay. I don't want to peek too much farther.
The banter between the Horsemen, keeping it loose,
Perfect. I'm gonna move in with Trey.
but focused. Comms on point. Ooh, some good pre-fire through the woods. Scoops up one for Dr. Sean.
Straight ahead, right in Enigma's funky spot. No, he's in between the shit. I saw him through the crack. I think I got him. Yeah, he's down. -1, baby. That's a fucking dead body if I've ever seen one. Box 5. I just did that. My dick's gonna get hard pretty soon.
Horsemen taking their time on the push. Do get early kill, which gives them a nice lead that they're looking for to kick off their Marsoc round. If they can snag a 2-0 advantage on Animal House's map pick, it's going to be a great way to start map number 2. Reefer pulling Willow's attention. He finds those up top, but the res should be available. Traden rotates in, going to scoop that up. Willow is still looking for an angle through the window. There's all these footsteps.
He's right. He's still there. He's at Enigma's spot. Get low, Reaper. I'm ready to res you.
Yeah, and Willow not ready for a third on the bottom floor. Thought that he had it under control. Everyone up in the top floor. Would have been a good push if Sean wasn't there to deny it. Enigma and Steve already had crossed and are making their way over onto... He was going to flank Enigma, but Finds the shield instead. Meanwhile, Sean, pad out, has moved his way up towards objective. Lipinski able to spot him out. We're about to have a bit of a cluster over here on the corner. Nolamite charges in and finds two. That draws Steve and Nolamite over onto that corner. Traden and Reefer don't capitalize off the chaos. There might have been a huge opening there if they had managed to snag Lipinski. Now everybody can shift back to objective. Steven finds another.
Another one down in the hallway.
Got him.
Get me up!
I'm just gonna leave.
It's a tie ball game for map number 2, Animal House on the board.
He's just better at math than me.
That's bad. It's counting.
Pretty standard defensive setup. Pretty standard offensive push so far, although those smokes extra cautionary, or at least a little bit early. Wonder if they're planning on crossing the street here already. This might be a very fast push from Animal House. Steven finds a slice in the smoke. Sean picking off one inside Mini Bazaar. Lipinski's going to be rotating in and looking for that as C4 gets close to the trio. Get a full 4. Smoke's gone. Utility done. What's the plan for Animal House?
One in blue 8.
Chaos across the map. Horsemen 2 down for Animal House. Defensive round looking good so far. And Animal House out of utility. They have a tough job of making it out of this position that they find themselves in. Good start. The double. Evening the odds in a flash. Animal House now into a 3v3.
north.
Crazy rotations. The last one alive, super far away from objective. They do have eyes on the cross, but it hasn't come in yet. Enigma has to rotate. He catches Willow, and now there's only one left alive in a very awkward 1v1. Steven's going to drop off. Such a massive opportunity
2, 3 down.
being missed here. As objective goes completely unguarded in this 1v1 right now. You see the rotation coming in. It looks like he might be able to get the res, too, turning it into a 2v1.
I'm out of ammo.
Yeah, son. Good try, though, buddy.
Very close battle. Steven, if he had a few more bullets in his gun, might have found himself with a round win, but he's held off by the 5 Horsemen. Push their lead 2-1. Well, the silence can be a bit eerie, but I appreciate you all for bearing with it. Solo casts, strenuous. But only on the voice, not on the eyes. That's why we're here watching Animal House versus 5 Horsemen, round number 4.
heard movement on me.
Clearly a timing thing going on here. Shield, Enigma, and over here, Reefer waiting for the other two on the north to clear out Kayat, rotate in. We'll take a quick gander at what Traden and Sean are doing over there. Are doing, as expected, clearing out Kayat, securing that. Once they have this, they'll have a better control of north, and then start their pinch onto objective.
Possible contact blue alleyway. I think they might just be hanging out.
Olamite goes out for a quick peek onto Reefer, does realize there's a few more defending, and I actually think that was the play. Reefer trying to draw in some attention, Steven and Olamite staying quiet. No, Steven and Enigma, excuse me. Cloak of Fire, they'll be able to push up. Nolamite not as exposed. He's decided to tuck himself in a bit more. Actually going to wait for a new angle. Well, Steven still waiting for Traden and John to make their move. Throws of Traden and Dr. Sean. Looks like Steven was getting a little nervous with the comms, and honestly, them being so vocal actually gets them key information. Now they are aware of Steven's position, and he can't necessarily hide in here. Has pushed up a touch. Still two sitting on the wall waiting. Still tucked in, waiting. With Steve tucked in, waiting, Traden, Sean, considering the approach, and this is the first round past 2 minutes. I don't think that's true, but definitely one of the few rounds that's gone quite a long time. Flash coming up, Green Theft, not necessary. If anything, harming Steve. That's not going to be terribly effective. Sean's still okay. Enigma, Nolamite trading. Sean scooping up. Green Theft trying to rotate. Steven's going to be in a bit of trouble here as Traden approaches in. Steve peeks up and around. Reefer can't find the frag. Now he's trapped in the corner as Reefer applies pressure. The reload comes in. Steven can't cock the gun in time. Reefer scoops him up. Willow defending the north finds Dr. Sean, and the push is underway. 50 seconds on the clock. Smoke is out onto OBJ. Shield still alive and well. Willow on a rotation. Smoke should do the business. Steven here is going across, standing up. Willow doesn't find the shots, although Lipinski is able to snag Enigma over the shoulder of the shield. Another smoke comes in. And now Steven is on OBJ. I think he's been ID'd. Is Lipinski going to apply the pressure? Steven pat out. Lipinski comes crashing in. Willow comes crashing in. Reefer not here to find the frags. Team kill out from Willow, and Reefer still not able to capitalize on the chaos. 15 seconds left, and Animal House find the final horsey, put him down, and tie things up 2-2. Love to hear your analytical thoughts on that round. Talking to you, chat. No one else here. Just you and me. Shout out to the cameraman. Great work on that last round. Great angles. Fantastic coverage of all of the kills and shots. Round 5 is underway. We're all tied up in a what could be series decider. Animal House are able to get a Marsoc round and then maintain their Volk winning streak. They can get map 2 and the series, but so far it's been going heavily in favor of Volk. Well, I wouldn't say heavily, we've come down to some 1v1s, but it's gone in favor of Volk on the defense. And now historically a map 5 Horsemen not a position, excuse me, 5 Horsemen not terribly comfortable covering. We get onto the Coyote objective. Gotta be thinking cap here if you're Animal House. This defense, very dangerous. Very dangerous to a hard central push, but it isn't what's happening. It actually might work out best for Animal House's attempt here.
One confirmed left 4 yards.
Right in a real bad spot. Now open up in the street, drops back in. Now he has to deal with whoever else is here that found that kill. And shortly, he's aware of the flank behind him, tucks in a little bit, applies the pressure even more. Willow's there, a third. That Traden has spotted, and he goes down. Not looking good for Animal House. Excuse me, for 5 Horsemen right now, as they are down to a mere 3 defenders. They have to rotate back onto objective now and cover this. They cannot allow a cap to come in, and Dr. Sean is certainly there to deny that. Big rotation from Enigma does come through. He works his way up to the stairs, and if he peeks these, he might be able to find a couple of potential Animal House attackers, but does look like nades are coming in general area. That's a bit too far. Really huge pickups. Enigma going down to Lipinski. That's not so ideal. Needed him alive to defend Blue Room. Now it's up to Dr. Sean and a far rotation coming in from Steve, which might actually catch out Nolamite on the backside if he's fortunate. He's got to rotate hard now there. Nolamite's right here. Charging in now up onto the second floor. Pads out. I think he can cap on the corner. He's punching in code. Nothing's coming in here. No one's sprinting upstairs. Animal House secure it. Map 2 and the series go to Animal House. What a... I mean, perfect, very smart move from Animal House to target the cap on an objective that 5 Horsemen have frankly shown their hand on. You know, they tried a strat that was a bit controversial, sure, and I think that's maybe indicated that they aren't so comfortable defending this objective. and Animal House able to find early picks, and you know, it's shifted in momentum back to an even keel for a minute there, but it just wasn't enough for the Five Horsemen to be able to come back. Enigma going down really spelled the downfall of Horsemen there in that series, but a good, solid attempt on defense. And you know, this could have gone Horsemen's way a couple of times there. They were very close to getting caps, very close to getting rounds on the board when they couldn't, and you know, it allowed Animal House to stay into the game, and they capitalized on the momentum. Took the series. We're gonna go to Subway for map 3. Does look like this was a side choice from the Five Horsemen. Animal House with some celebratory beats going off there. Feeling good, securing the series. They can relax just a bit. Not a lot, considering how close the scoreline has been. They want to secure themselves with more MMR. Now they're going to want to take this map as well, so certainly should be focused as Steven pumps in some suppressive fire. C4 out and over, not finding Steven. He fakes the scream, and Steve finds Traden. Steven apparently watching the stream while killing people. Enigma finds one on objective. Willow and... oh, looks like Nynx has been subbed in here, applying pressure. Nolamite goes down. Nynx looking for one. Nade comes around the corner. That doesn't find Nynx. He drops back in time. Steve and Enigma still defending. We also have Reaper on the backside preventing the duo from entering in. He's going to have some action on his hands here soon in a second. Nynx able to find Steve with the LMG. I have to split our focus. For getting pushed hard by Steve. Steve dropping back at an unideal time. A nice flash comes up and over, and the trade secures Horsemen the round.
Good job! Yeah, good job!
Very close there, but Horsemen do a nice job of bouncing back from a tough start to the round with some early picks into the favor of Animal House. Sounds like the Horsemen neighing before they get into their next round.
Right here. All right, let's do it. Me and Trey are on the way. I'm watching straight, you watch left. Negative, I'm watching what left, you watch.
Enigma and Steve underground there, working their way over to the back entrance. And it doesn't look like Animal House are. Oh.
One down.
Willow. Getting very aggressive on Catwalk. Worked his way all the way down. Through. While Enigma Steve still crawling up. Multiple floors on the stairwell. Just putting rounds down range. Sean lagging. Actually trying to push forward. I thought Traden was in front of him already, but somehow no one finding the kill onto Willow, and Traden could go up here and find this res. Should do right now, but they don't know that attacker has dropped back, so a little bit of uncertainty here for Traden. Pre-fire coming out. That's going to be an indicator someone's still here. Nolamite is going to come in for the push onto the corner. Guns up from Dr. Sean. He finds one and defends Traden. Another comes around the corner. Willow to scoop up Dr. Sean. Traden onto the refrag. Things are evened out into a 3v3. Well, Steve and Enigma out of the stairwell, applying pressure onto Nynx, and the defensive Animal House is shifted over into the main objective courtyard. Oh, I don't know if Steve was blind there, but he did find the shot on the Nynx. Lipinski looking for a little piece of the action. Trade, and Steven with a trade over on the north. Wow, that is an unfortunate toss. That would have been a perfect nade onto the two of them if it hadn't been blocked by that sign. Enigma applying pressure, finds one. Lipinski doesn't see Enigma on the corner, and Enigma rounding it after the kill of Steve. Gets the Horsemen 2 points. as they push up their lead now to 0. I guess I supported that run. They got 1 point and pushed their lead up to. Get to the scoreboard. Thing work. What with all the crows? I never listened to that. Why is there so many crows? Only hear it in this one spot. Maybe it's because people are always murdering out here. Round 3.
Fuck yeah, boys. Let's get it. I'm gonna be over here. Tickling. Oh shit. Uh-oh, I almost fell over in VR. That would have fucking sucked. Hello.
Nick's just doing a lot of pre-fire with the LMG. Question is he ready for Enigma on the corner? He's not. Enigma crouched down. Shots go over his head. You saw the laser just missing him there. He drops back, and Lipinski gets scooped up by Steve, watching the long angle. Horsemen kicking things off 5v3.
He's on the left.
We're finding Willow. Nolamite pushing in with the shield. C4 finds 2. Let the celebration speak for itself. Horsemen now up 3-0, and I think they have a chance here of taking point lead in the series despite losing. Do the math. They do. If they secure this next round, they will be they will have the point lead, and that's about as that's the best case scenario for losing a series. To be point winner, like the MMR damage is minimalized to so little then.
I did scream yeet, right? I did scream yeet, right?
The yeeter himself.
I gotta kill him. I got him.
I mean, there's nothing
Hey,
more
the
satisfying
yeet
than pulling that
on
trigger
its
and then
own
it's like
was
victory.
Great. And hearing like, oh, there's a shield in front of me, and then seeing victory, wow.
Oh boy. Alright, I'm gonna go around this corner and try and get some piggies. Pretty clear. Looking at the right side.
Fast north push here from 5 Horsemen.
Your left's clear. Watching straight.
They're aware that with an underground objective, they got all the time in the world to work with, and most likely not going to encounter any defense positioned up here.
Well, you know you're not north, dude.
While, bit of an underground push coming in from Steve and Enigma. Got to be concerned about C4 in these tight corridors when you make your entry here. Obviously concerned about C4. He's spotted it out on the wall. Notified his teammate. Will be taking the shots and lead disabling. And it doesn't look like the shots landed on our screen, but it could be a client-side issue, so. Meanwhile, Willow on the backside finds one. Enigma looks for the refrag. Willow drops back in time. Now he's going to peek out as Enigma charges in, and that's a nice double for Animal House. Push things in up 5-3. Braden is getting identified by Stairwell. That was Reefer in there. I thought that was an enemy defender.
Don't tell them that.
Good nade. Reaper smoke's drawing out plenty of attention. Willow cutting the shins off of Reefer as Traden and Dr. Sean make their entry on the opposite stairwell.
Negative. It's on Watch the other stairs.
Shots go the other stairs.
Wait, you want to go to those stairs, same stairs? Don't do that. That's a bad idea. All right, honestly,
We should do. I think we should push in and we should clear out the side that Enigma's coming in, and then we want to move down there. So right now they're fucking firing, but it's nowhere.
so you want to go right? Okay, right stairs, push right. Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna throw a smoke down so they can't see, and then we're gonna go right. You're gonna go right in there. They're they got the fucking coke stands. I'm gonna go across, and we could.
Got it. Perfect.
We're gonna
Perfect.
get hit by C4.
Go. Minute 20.
just heard the Nolamite flank as he comes around the backside of Dr. Sean. Gets Animal House on the board and starts what could be a long road of a comeback. Now they got to snag a Marsoc round. We will be going to a upstairs objective, which is arguably cappable. And if they can secure a cap here, you know, they're in a position where they go on the Volk, they have to defend, and they can eventually take map 3, tie things back up. Horsemen now out of the option of securing themselves a point lead, but they can at least tie in overall score if they do take this next round. I don't know if Animal House are exactly going to make it easy for them. Again, this objective can be tough to defend.
Shield north, shield north.
I got one snake tunnel.
Good start for Animal House as they find one up in upper catwalk. Eyes still pretty drawn in over onto this north side here where Shield was ID'd by a Reaper. Does find one. Dr. Sean able to find another. Steven putting rounds down range. Reaper picking up his second, and Willow is pushing in towards objective. Who has eyes on here? Trade, a big trade. Dr. Sean denying Will-O-Wisp from pushing in on an objective. Does have comms available. Traden is here for a rotation, so he's near objective. Everybody's crashing in around it, and the final attacker in a flash is Nink's Dragon. It all comes down to Nynx if they want to take this map. He's alone in a 1v2 with 3:20 on the clock. Plenty of time to inch his way up to objective. Utilize the train tracks coverage there to crawl his way forward. Might be able to find himself pretty close to objective uncontested. Going to be a matter of pushing in towards that objective. That's going to be the challenge. 5 Horsemen are aware of the capability of this. Positioned accordingly. Link's running night vision here in a pretty bright map because he wants to be able to ID dark figures in cover, and he finds one with a lot of time left and does this wise thing and drops all the way off of that angle and rotates around. He may be able to find Trayden here. There it is, Ninx. Running it back, doesn't charge in overzealously, finds himself a couple of picks on eager rotations and keeps Animal House in it. What has been a pretty good series so far continues to deliver. Horsemen now out of the contention of being in, at least tying with the overall score. That 4-2 win on Bazaar certainly helping Animal House quite a bit here. Although might been doing stellar for Animal House today so far. Finding himself plenty of kills, tosses out a C4 to deny entry from what could be Steve and Enigma underground. Hand signals coming in here from Horsemen to keep their comms quiet as they make their entry up here. Question is, will they be ready for Willow? Enigma seems to have his eyes on. Willow peeking around, Enigma trying to find shots through the boxes, nothing connecting. Willow stays alive. The push coming in from Steve, who's now in a bit of an awkward spot as he has one on his upstairs and one down beneath him. Not anymore, as Willow's going to drop on a far back rotation. Dr. Sean may be in trouble here. Not ready for this. Pads out. He spots it. He knows. He finds Willow. A nice frag on a long rotation. Very good move from Sean to deny that from happening. Willow been doing some great flanks today so far. Had an excellent one on Suburbia that almost got them a round win. Shield out, and Steve kills Steve. Steve just couldn't find the pistol shots onto Steve. He landed a few onto Steve, but then Steve somehow found the feet. Very nice job, Steve, coming out on top there. Horsemen looking like they may allow Animal House into this one to tie it up 3-3. They're now into a 2v4. Madness has made his way underground. Oh, that's not the underground. He's checking a very far back angle up on the second floor. Him and Sean squeaked in through the north. Came down in through catwalk, most likely, actually, down the stairs. Either way, he's here on the train tracks looking for picks. good refrag from Dr. Sean. Quick bullets come into his side. Now starts to get swarmed in on. Utilize one of his smokes. Work his way out. Stairwell comes in from Nolamite. A nice rotation from him. Finds Dr. Sean and ties things up 3-3. The comeback is real. They have done the long road. They have walked it. They're now here on their offensive round on a objective in the north. Things could not be more favorable for Animal House to take map 3, or worse off for Horsemen, as this objective gets very toxic and chaotic. Toxic, not the right word. Chaotic. We're now into round 7 of map 3. The series already into the hands of Animal House. But 5 Horsemen have been putting up a good fight so far. They've initially had a 3-0 lead and were not able to capitalize, finalize their map 3 victory, and Animal House have clawed their way back, tied things up 3-3, and are now looking to attack a north objective with everyone south. Not going with the typical heavy north-centric push with suppressive fire, smokes, and shield. Instead, opting for a bit of a different tactic, one that I think teams typically prepare for more often than the hard north push, but one that we don't really get to see very often, at least I don't. Nolamite on this rotation can scoop up an early pick. Double C4 detonation on stairs. Enigma finds Nolamite getting overzealous. That's info for Nynx, but it might be too much information for Nynx. Dr. Sean has an angle here. He goes down quick onto the refrag, keeps things even. Steven able to find Reefer down the hall, and now Steve and Steve in another battle. How many times the Steve faced off? I wonder if there's another C4 on stairs. It might have been a grenade C4 detonation.
Another one down in
Nice job there. Steve finds Steve. Somehow Steve keeps killing Steve. Traden not able to find the refrag. Lots of nades you'd want closer to end of the round when 3 minutes left on the clock. It's a lot of time for this Animal House team to slow work their way in. Dr. Sean and Traden trying to hold on. Secure map number 3.
He's on me. I see him straight ahead. One on the south. He's down over here. Minus three confirmed. Watching this.
Big peek from Traden gets Steve, and now it's down to Doctor and Lipinski.
You got 1 minute.
Ski looking to double up. Looking to triple down on map wins. If he was going for 4 kills, he'd be looking for the quad, but I don't know if that's the situation. Finds himself in a 1v1 with Traden and 30 seconds on the clock. Wonder why he dropped down there. He actually opted into the longest route possible. Now has to charge in towards objective. Traden's dropped back. 10 seconds left. Lipinski not going to go for the cap. Traden doesn't find shots, and in an awkward exchange, Traden secures map 3. Horsemen securing their final map of the series. Although it definitely wasn't made easy by Animal House. And an overall great set of matches. Animal House take the Series W, winning Suburbia and Bazaar 4-3 and 4-2. That's going to be it for me here on Master League 2. We'll be dropping the host over to Onward Master League 1, where we have G-Men versus Rome going on right now. DFH and Xandria are casting that matchup, so we'll be dropping in, checking out how that goes right about now. Thank you so much for tuning in and dropping by. If you do have Twitch Prime, feel free to drop it here or on the Onward Master League channel. Also, make sure to follow this channel and Master League 3. We have 3 channels where we broadcast games. They're all worth following and dropping in whenever action goes live. Also, head on over to vrmasterleague.com, where you can see all of the matches from Echo Arena to Onward being cast live on the main page. And also follow us on Twitter to get notifications. That's it for me. My name's NightFiree with 2 E's. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you with more action this weekend. Lots of it.